Next presenter is Erik Young from Sourfish Events. Erik and team run a series of races, and he's going to talk a lot about promotional types of things.
Thanks, Bob. Well, like Bob said, my name is Erik. I am with Sourfish Events. We are a small event planning company based in Chicago, Illinois. We've been doing races since 2012, and we have two main race series. Our spring race series is called the Hard Cider Run. It's basically a trail race series where you run through an apple orchard, and then afterwards you drink hard cider. So really, really fun way to start your day. And then our fall race series, the Great Pumpkin Run, we visit 10 cities throughout the fall. Primarily do these trail races at farms. We do have a couple urban races that we do 15Ks at as well, but really it's a great way to celebrate the best season of them all. I have a lot to cover today, so I'm going to move through this somewhat quickly. The two main topics I'm going to talk about will be the referral system that RunSignUp has set up. If you haven't used this referral system, I'm going to sit here and adamantly tell you to start using it. It's a free tool. It's amazing. The second section we're going to talk about is going to be social media. And we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about free social media, but I'm also going to dive right into paid marketing, especially using the Facebook platform. So I kind of want you guys to walk away from my segment of the conference today saying, wow, I didn't know we could do that with referral marketing. I want you guys to go home and start enabling referral marketing and really figuring out creative ways to push it. I also want you guys to be able to leave this conference today and be super excited with new ideas and how you can utilize your existing Facebook page, and maybe even if you're using Facebook paid marketing, be able to leave here and say, okay, I want to try this or I want to test this out. So hopefully you guys will leave with some solid ideas. So the first question I'm going to answer is why referrals? Why should I spend my time worrying about referrals? It's pretty simple. It's the power of word of mouth marketing cannot be understated or overstated. So it's one of those things where you can sit there and you can hand out race flyers at other races. You can sit there and spend a lot of money on a glitzy ad campaign. You can make videos, have these picture-perfect ads, yet if someone goes up to their friend and says, oh, hey, John, I'm running this race this fall, you should join me. That's going to be way more powerful than any type of ad spend. We had 16% of our registrations that came through were directly due to word-of-mouth marketing through the referral system. Throughout from June 1st until the race on October 29th, we had 10,884 race page views purely due to the referral system. We ended up having 568 completed registrations, which resulted in $580 in refunds issued with $23,000 in registration revenue brought in. That's an insane return on investment. So, the exact number is 3,892% estimated return on investment. So if that doesn't really get you thinking, oh, should I do this referral program? I don't know what will. So we're going to dive right into RunSignUp's referral system. It was introduced, I believe, last spring of 2016. And when RunSignUp told me about it, I was ready to go. So we set it up right away, implemented it, even though we already had our registration period open, we implemented it right then and there and started pushing it. The cool thing is it's super easy to set up and even easier to monitor. So if you have 100 people running your race to 10,000 people, any size race can use this to help grow the registration base. And also it can be used in various mediums. So obviously the big one is Facebook. After you sign up, you want people to go and put their referral code on Facebook and share it there. You can also simply copy and paste that referral link, put it in an email, and send it to your, all your friends and family. It's a really robust system and very easy to use. So I have this video here, and we're going to briefly go through how to set up the referral. This is a dummy race I set up just for this conference. So let's get this video going. All right, this is your typical RunSignUp dashboard. So to set the referral system up, first you go to promotion, and then you go down to referral tracking and head into the main menu. This kind of outlines where you can go with the system. So you have set up referral tracking, set up referral codes, manage referral codes, and then view referral refunds. So to get this set up, head here, go to allow referral tracking. This basically says, okay, let's turn the system on. Down here, you can automatically set up referral codes for Facebook, Twitter, and shared links. This is basically going to do it so when the user signs up, it's going to automatically generate those codes, and people will easily be able to share onto Facebook, onto Twitter. Scrolling down, you're setting your settings now at an event level. So for this 5K fun run for the cure, we only have the one single event. And here is the nuts and bolts of it. So now we're under refund settings. This is where you're going to decide, okay, after how many registrations do we want to issue that participant a refund, whether it be a full refund or a partial refund. So for this race, we're going to say, if you refer 5 friends, if 5 of your friends sign up using your referral link, we're going to go ahead and issue you a $20 refund. Again, that's something that we've tested a little bit, and we found that that 5 referrals for $20 has worked out well for us. If that sounds like too much to you or too little, you can adjust it yourself. Again, this is fully customizable, and I would suggest if this is your first time doing it, kind of seeing how much you're willing to pay for X amount of registrations. To us, I think $5 at $35 a pop is well worth the $20 refunded to them. So that's how you set that part of it up. Cool thing is, if you guys are sitting there right now and you're saying, I had no idea this feature existed, or I've never really thought about using it, but I have races that are already set up, registrations open, you can still go in right now and have that set up for your existing race. So it's not too late in the game for you guys to do that for existing races. A really cool feature is you can go into your existing race, set it up, and then you can select events and have RunSignUp automatically generate referral codes. Key here is that once you generate those referral codes, it's not going to notify all those existing registrants that codes have been created for them. You need to use something like the email marketing system and shoot out an email, explain the program, and then also include a replacement tag that says, here is your referral code, hit share, and then they can start sharing it, and you can see those referred registrations hopefully start rolling through. So now the next part is going to be going to the social sharing. Social sharing is basically what the user is going to see when they complete the registration. So RunSignUp does a great job. They pre-populate a lot of these things. So you have your confirmation share heading. This is going to be the first thing after they sign up, what's going to pop up on their screen and say, hey, congrats for registering. Why don't you share this code and earn $20 back from your registration fee? Again, this is customizable. You scroll down, you have the larger text version. So this is going to say, this might explain more of like the nuts and bolts, like share 5 times, get $20 back, things like that. That is customizable as well. However, RunSignUp does have a template there that it fills it by default. Going down further, you can enter the message that people will see on Facebook. So when they go and hit the share button to post it to Facebook, you can have that message be customized. And then lastly, that last box is for the email confirmation. So when they get that confirmation email, it'll have within that email a little bit more text about, hey, remember, use this referral share system and you can earn $20 back or whatever you guys set it to. So again, RunSignUp does a great job of pre-populating these messages, but they're fully customizable, which is great. So now we're going to go up to the top, and the nice thing is if you have a race and you have, say, 10 events within that race, a 5K, 10K, 15K, you can easily copy these to the other events. You can also do coupon codes here. So if you want to share a coupon code that's limited to, say, 24 hours, you can do that. We haven't experimented with that. It's something that I think a lot of races could do, but we haven't yet. So down at the bottom, I know Brian talked about this in his presentation a little bit. Here is where you can set your images up for when anyone shares your race. This is what's going to pop up on Facebook or Twitter or whatever they're using. So like he said, you absolutely should have this filled out, even if you're not doing a referral system. If you are, this is a good spot to put a nice picture of your race, have the date, time, location. You get creative here, and just make sure you stick within those parameters of the picture size. So you've set up your referral system, and you're happy with seeing people start to use it. You start seeing more page views. One thing you want to think about is, how can I encourage these people to keep sharing? You don't want them to just share that one time on the day they registered. You need them to keep sharing often as possible. So a couple things that we have done is we've sent dedicated emails to people that have registered already, and we'll say, hey, you haven't shared in a while, here's your link, and you can use that replacement tag within the email marketing system, and they can easily share their referral code again. Also, you can post this on social media yourself. So if you have a Facebook page, you can say, hey, signed up for the race already? Why not copy your referral link, paste it, and earn your registration fee back? So you have to kind of get creative and think of ways how, after that they've signed up and after it's been a few days or a couple weeks, how can you get them to share again? And that's kind of what we're focusing on right now at Sourfish. So, like I said, we email our participants regularly, telling them to, hey, share your link today. And we've actually created a program for the fall called the Pumpkin Support League, or PSL for short. So this program basically piggybacks off of what RunSignUp has done with the referral system, and we've added a few more layers to it. So the basics of the Pumpkin Support League are, when you sign up, you get that referral code, and we say, hey, congrats on registering for the Great Pumpkin Run. You're now part of the Pumpkin Support League. We explain that they have that unique URL that they can share, and then that if they refer 5 people, they get $20 back. Now the kicker is, for us, we say, don't stop there. If you refer 10 friends, you're going to get a free training tank top or t-shirt sent straight to your door. So that's something where we pull reports weekly and say, okay, so-and-so has 10 referrals, let's send them a training tank top. And we just go back to the registration, send it out, done. 15 referrals, that's going to get them their entire registration fee back, and then 20 referrals, we send them this really nice plush gray hoodie that's perfect for the fall weather. So that's just something that we said, okay, we had 16% of our registrations last year coming from this referral system. We see a lot of promise in it. How can we increase it beyond that initial $20 refund? So we've bought our own prizes, and we're doing a little bit of legwork monitoring how well our top referrers are doing and rewarding them. And this is something that we have all over our website. On the RunSignUp page, we have Earn Your Registration Back, and they can learn about it there. And then we also actually have a PDF embedded there so they can get even greater detail. So that's kind of another thing that we're doing with this, is we're trying to make it as visible as possible. So it's on RunSignUp, it's on our website, and it's also being emailed to them after they've signed up. Again, when we send them emails, we're sending them the tier system, all that good stuff. So this is just something that, after seeing such success last year, we're like, yeah, let's step it up and figure out ways to move towards maybe 20% of our registrations coming from referrals. If we can get to a spot where we're getting 25, 30, 35% of all registrations coming from referrals, I mean, you're saving marketing dollars, saving all sorts of time. So that's kind of the idea with the Pumpkin Support League. We're going to hop right into social media. Obviously, everyone's familiar these days with social media, all the different platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. The one that we've had the most success with so far has been Facebook, and we're starting to really get into Instagram as well. But for this conversation with you guys, I'm going to stick to Facebook, as I think it's the best medium, at least today. So there's two trains of thought, I guess I should say, when talking about social media, especially on Facebook. There's paid versus free. A lot of people will say there's no such thing as free social media marketing anymore. And I kind of want to debunk that myth a little bit. Sure, your free reach isn't going to go as far as it did, say, 4 years ago, meaning that when you post something, say you have 10,000 likes on Facebook, 4 years ago, it might be shown to 30% of your audience, up to 50, who knows. Nowadays, it's more single digits. Reason being is as more people join Facebook, Facebook doesn't want to clog people's news feed with irrelevant content. So Facebook is taking your best performing post. If you put a post out there and you have a ton of engagement, people liking, people sharing, that's gonna get seen by more people. Even if you think that you're putting a post out there that's super relevant, if it doesn't look good, people aren't gonna click through it and it's not gonna get shown. So I think there's definitely ways that people can still up their game with social media and still get a lot of engagement for free. So first of all, if you don't have a Facebook page for your race, please set one up. It's free. Take care of that today. Again, like I said, make sure you're posting relevant and engaging thoughts, pictures, videos, all that good stuff. One of our best freebies that we do a weekly contest on the Great Pumpkin Runs page where basically we take our training shirt and we take a picture of it, like zoomed in super up close, and we say, hey guys, where was this picture taken? So, for example, we might take a picture of that shirt on the beach and you can see just a few grains of sand. People will sit there and they'll guess and they'll share and they'll be like, oh my God, I don't know where this is, or oh, I think I know where it is. And all of a sudden, that post is gonna skyrocket because you have so many people commenting. And plus, you're giving away a freebie so people are getting excited, and that freebie is also something that we promote in the PSL program, so they're seeing the prize that they could get. So it's kind of one of those things where you're trying to have that full life cycle on social media. Another thing that you want to make sure that you're doing on social media is setting up an event on Facebook. So this is something that Facebook has been really pushing for the past year. They want people to go on that platform and find new events to do with their friends, which is great for all of us because that means they're likely going to show your event over maybe somebody else's post. It's the easiest thing for people to sit there and say they're interested or going to your event on Facebook, and then they can easily share it with their friends. It's one of those things that once you hit I'm going, it's going to pop up on your friend's newsfeed that says, oh, hey, Bob is going to the Great Pumpkin Run. And you can say, oh, I want to learn more. And you can hit interested. And so that's a way that you can build an audience right then and there. So if you haven't done that yet, highly recommend it. Another one of Facebook's free features that's getting a lot of buzz these days is Facebook Live. So that's the idea of taking out your smartphone, or I think it has to be a smartphone, and literally film what you're doing. At our races throughout the spring and the fall, we'll Facebook Live the start of our race. Literally we'll have someone whip out their cell phone and just stand there and film it. We'll walk around, talk with people at the races, things like that. If you guys like do a t-shirt reveal or a medal reveal, it's a great idea to say, okay guys, on Friday at noon we're gonna Facebook Live the t-shirt reveal for this year. And you can sit there and in your office or whatever, make a little set, and then, on live, reveal that t-shirt. So these are like simple little ideas that you guys can just institute here and there, and it's gonna go a long way. We're gonna hop into beginning a paid campaign. How many of you guys use paid marketing on Facebook right now? So a lot of people, good. We've had a lot of success with it. It's been something that when we started with back in 2012, it's how we've grown all of our races. We've experimented with other forms of marketing, but we've found that Facebook is so robust and that you can really drill down and find your target audience. So I'm going to kind of go into what we've done as far as creating like how we market our events. Before every season, we sit down and we say, what is our funnel this year? And by funnel, I mean your top marketing, your middle marketing, and then your conversions at the bottom. You need to sit there and think about your audience a bit, think about who you want to reach and how you're going to reach them on Facebook. One thing so who is familiar with custom audiences for Facebook? Everybody? Cool. So if you're not familiar with custom audiences, this is something where you can go into Facebook, into your ads manager, and you can quickly upload custom contacts. So one thing that we always do as a rule at Sourfish Events is when we're marketing to runners, we say, okay, we're going to market to our past participants a little differently than we're going to market to quote unquote cold customers who have never heard of our event. We're also going to segment our audiences a little bit by gender. So we're going to market to women a little differently than we'll market to men, and also different age groups. If that's not something you're doing right now, that's something I definitely recommend you guys start doing. And we also, when we're in Facebook, we are also separating where we show certain ads. So we won't necessarily run an ad on Facebook and have it run on Instagram at the same time. We might treat Instagram a little differently. People that go on Instagram, they want to see these beautiful pictures. They want to see what their friends are eating that day, things like that. So with that in mind, what works on Facebook, it might not necessarily work the same as it does on Instagram. So when you're setting up those campaigns, think of it that way. Think of different ways that you can, differentiate your campaigns. So I have a video of basically how we set up a basic campaign. It seems like all of you guys have done this before. Is this screen familiar to you? No? All right, so we're going to walk through it. So this is going to be when you first start your ads and you open up your ads manager and you hit create an ad. This is your basic campaign selection setup. So here, Facebook outlines all the different types of campaigns you can do. Brand awareness is going to be one of those high-reaching campaigns where you're going to be trying to reach the most amount of people. Reach, again, we use reach to basically say, okay, we have a price increase this upcoming weekend. We want to reach all of our past participants. We want to make sure every single person sees that. Reach is where you want to do that. Traffic is your basic cost per click campaign where you're saying, I just want to target people and drive traffic to my website at the lowest cost possible. You have engagement, which basically says, I want people to engage with my ad. App installs, we don't really mess around with that. We don't have our own app. Video views is a great tool if you have an awesome video and you want to kind of show people that video. That's going to perform better than a traffic campaign. And then conversions is the one we use the most. So you can tell Facebook that you want to optimize your ads to be shown to people that might buy your product. So there's going to be people out there that they go on Facebook and they'll go to your website and they'll click through your website and say, oh, this is a cool race, but they might not ever want to really convert. If you do a conversion campaign, Facebook is going to say, we're going to find those people that have been shown in the past to make that purchase. They're going to do that action that you want them to do online, which for all of us is to buy a registration. Again, I'm just going to keep going through our basics top funnel setup. This is going to be a running interest plus Starbucks, which basically means that we want to target people that have a running interest and they also have to like Starbucks. It might sound weird, but going through our insights on Facebook, we found that our audience has a high affinity for Starbucks. Maybe because of the fall, I don't know, but it's worked out well for us. This conversion tab right here, you can upload standard events using the Facebook pixel, so you can optimize for different conversion factors. We have ones for each of our events, but we also have the main standard purchase event, which that's what we're going to use for this campaign. You can also have initiate checkout. You can have web page views. So if you just want to drive people to your website doing that, you can do that as well. Going further down, we talked about custom audiences. This is where you can upload your lookalike audiences. So if you've created a lookalike audience based on past participants, upload and target that lookalike audience here. You can also target people that are already registered if you want. Like I said, one thing we always do is we exclude people that are already registered if we're trying to do like a top funnel ad campaign. So this way, if I'm targeting 50,000 people and we have 1,000 people registered already, we're going to make sure we don't show it to those 1,000 people. A, you're wasting money, and B, you might be annoying them. So for this race, it's in Lansing, Michigan. So we're going to geo-target it, and we're going to do a 40-mile radius or 45-mile radius. And we're going to make sure that we click locations and people who live in this location. One thing that's tricky, if you haven't ever seen this box before, pay attention to it. Facebook will track everyone who's been through that location. So you might have people that are transient or people that went up to Lansing for a summer vacation, but they don't actually live there. So for our purposes, you want to make sure you're targeting people that actually do indeed live in that area. We target by age and gender as well. So for this ad, it's going to be 20 to 50. That's pretty much the core of the people that run our races. So we're going to pay attention to them. And for the ad creative, we're going to do this one designed to appeal to women specifically. Here is where we're going to start doing a little bit of interest-based targeting. So like I said, we're going to do that running interest. And now that I did that, you see it drop down to 53,000 people in that potential pool. We're going to narrow it down even more because they're going to have to show Facebook that they're interested in running and also interested in Starbucks. So now that dropped our pool down to a measly 14,000 potential people. I usually don't run campaigns like this low, like 14,000 is pretty narrow. I did this video a few days ago, and we've seen some success with it, which was surprising, but typically I try to target between 50 to 100,000 people for a typical city. That gives Facebook enough wiggle room to find the best people. Down here, again, this is where you can kind of choose your platform that you show. So even within Facebook, you can choose whether or not you want to be on news feeds, instant articles, right column. You can also choose whether you want it to be on Instagram, audience networks. All these things are totally customizable, which is great. As you do mess around with these and you exclude some, it can drop your reach down a little bit. So always pay attention to that. Messenger is one of the newer ones for Facebook where you can now put ads within their Messenger platform. We haven't really experimented with that yet. I'm excited to see how other brands do it, but it is an option now. You can adjust your budget. You can optimize, again, for conversions, link clicks, impressions, daily unique reach. That's when you want to make sure you're reaching people up to once a day, but no more than once a day. So if you're trying to not annoy people, but you still want to get your message across, daily unique reach can be used, and your ad spend should be a little bit less. So moving on, we're going to go to the creative. I'm sure if you guys have seen this before, this is where you're going to actually design your ad itself. So we have the Great Pumpkin Run. You choose your page you're advertising for. You can do a carousel ad where you have multiple images within one ad, single image ad, a single video. If you don't have a video but you want something moving, slideshow is a great option. You just compile a bunch of pictures and Facebook will have them slide across in a nice, like, PowerPoint-esque manner. Going down further, you can do the canvas or you can go straight into images. If you don't have any images, if you're a brand new race and you're like, I want to do these ads but I don't have any images at all, Facebook has stock images, so you can find some of people running or people, eating or drinking or whatever you have. A nice thing is Facebook will save all your up to 100 ad images, so you don't have to upload every single time you're creating a new ad. You can see ads that you've used before, ad creatives you used before, and bring it up from there. One of the biggest things that you should pay attention to when creating your ad is the headline. This is when people are mindlessly going through their Facebook feed and they're just scrolling. This is what's going to catch people's attention. That picture and that headline is what it will make people stop and say, oh, what is this? So for this, we use, are you ready for apple cider yet? It's just one of those things that as you're scrolling through, maybe you'll say, oh yeah, I am ready for apple cider, even though it's only July. This is one of those variables you have to constantly test and say, is it the picture, is it the text, what is working here and what's not working? Then above it, you can put your text. We put dash through the farm before celebrating at the finish line with friends, food, pumpkins, and fun. kind of gives them a little more idea of what this is about. So dash through the farm. Okay, so I'm going to be running this Great Pumpkin Run. It's going to be at a farm. There's going to be food afterwards and a bunch of pumpkins. Cool. And then one of the more important things is the CTA. So this call to action button Facebook has, there's all sorts of different ones you can use. We've found that for races and for our purposes, the learn more and the sign up CTA button, they perform really well. You can, again, create ads and test those and see what CTA is going to work best for you. But for this particular ad, we're going to use sign up. News feed link description. This is just a little bit of text at the bottom of the ad. We'll usually put like the location and date. Be aware that the news feed link description, it's not on every ad. I think it's only on mobile news feed and desktop news feed.
Do you try to use the same ad picture and the same verbiage in the ad in the social sharing section of RunSignUp? Do you ever switch it up, or?
For the social sharing, we've set it up a little differently. We've actually never really used what's worked here and put it over there. Because I think it's a little bit different, because for the social sharing section, when people share that, it's coming from someone that just signed up for the race and I'm telling my friends about it, whereas this is more of a cold approach where I'm trying to tell people that probably have no idea about this race, what it's about. So for example, our social sharing image right now that we use for the Great Pumpkin Run is this beautiful picture of the start line, and it just says in big text, "I'm in." So after you sign up, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to share this and like tell my friends that I'm in. So that's the basics for creating a top level campaign. You can scroll through after you create it just to check how it's going to preview on all those formats that you set up. I suggest always checking that, because sometimes Facebook will cut an image off, and sometimes if they automatically crop it, it's going to work, but sometimes it'll cut off someone's face and you're like, now my ad looks stupid. So that's something that you want to be mindful of when you're creating these. So really that's kind of the gist of what I can fit in. A couple of final thoughts. When you do start using paid social media, the biggest thing is start with a smaller budget. If you have, say, $1,000 you're willing to spend on an ad campaign, don't blow it all in the first week. You want to set it really low, and then test. Because even though you might think you have this rock star ad that's going to perform really well, people might not take to it, and you can blow through a lot of money way too quickly. So always test different pictures, test different call to actions, test different headlines until you see something where you're getting a highly converting ad. Also, one thing that we've found out is combine this with your email marketing. So if you're announcing the dates for your race for 2018, set up a campaign that coincides with the start of an email. So that way people are seeing it on all mediums. So just try and think of this as not just a standalone ad, but it's working with all your other marketing efforts.
Would you be willing to share like what percentage of your registrations come from Facebook ads and what your CPA range is?
Yeah, absolutely. So we focus heavily on basically email, Facebook, and then also we do a little bit of Pinterest ads, and then we treat Instagram by itself, even though it is within the Facebook platform. Probably 80 to 85% of our registrations typically come from Facebook ads. The rest, email, and then obviously referral, we've had a lot of success with, and especially last year. But on average, about 80% of our registrations we are pulling through those Facebook ads. As far as cost goes, again, this is why I say test. They can range from anywhere, like when we have a really highly performing Facebook ad, we can get a registration acquisition rate of $4 per registration. So those types of numbers are wonderful. Obviously, if you're willing to spend $4 for a $35 registration fee, that's a wonderful margin.
Do you have some guideline about, how frequently you'll email someone who's registered already?
Yeah, so that's something that we just started doing this year, and so far we've done it. We opened registration in April for the Great Pumpkin Run, and we've sent out 3 emails so far. And we still have high open rates on those. I don't know off the top of my head what they are, but it's something that I've reasoned and said, okay, that's a good open rate. I'm not at least it doesn't seem like I'm annoying people yet. So far, I mean, it's been I guess you could say about every other month. As we get closer to the fall and when our fall races become more relevant, we'll probably ramp that up a little bit. And going off that, that's another thing that we've thought of that we're going to do as we get closer to the fall is finding those people that have 4 referrals and we're emailing them exclusively and saying, you're one share away from getting $20 back. Like if you share this now and one of your friends signs up, you're getting $20 back. So you can go through RunSignUp, download reports, and see how many people are on that cusp.
Have you used other types of premiums for just registration? So if you sign up in this window, you get a tote bag or a beer mug or something like that through Facebook?
We actually haven't. We haven't experimented with that. That's something that we've thought of before, but we haven't done. And to be honest, with our Pumpkins Support League, this is the first time that we're using like physical items as an incentive for people that have already registered, but we've never actually used physical items for people that have not registered yet. But I'd definitely be interested in like if anyone else has experience with that to see how that goes for you guys.
In terms of your social media, do you guys use a scheduling platform? Like we at Healthy Kids use Hootsuite. We use the pro option so that we have like the analytics that we can go back and look at. So, do you guys use that or do you just individually schedule your Facebook posts as you go?
We individually schedule them as we go. With Facebook, you can schedule those out as far in advance as you like. I used Hootsuite several years ago before Facebook enabled like campaign scheduling and post scheduling, but now that it's within Facebook, I've found no reason to go back to Hootsuite, but that's personal preference on my end.
You mentioned earlier something about not paying to put your Facebook ads in front of people who've already registered. How exactly are you doing that, preventing that?
Sure, so the custom audience is how we do that. When I have to go into RunSignUp, I do this on a weekly basis, and I download a list of participants. I'll then go back into Facebook, go to my audiences, and upload an audience called Already Registered GPR Lansing 2017. So Facebook is going to take all those, all the data that I've uploaded and match those to people on Facebook. And then when I'm creating an ad, I'm going to say, do not market to that already registered GPR Lansing 2017. And Facebook will say, okay, I won't show this ad to people that match. So it's not 100% foolproof, but it'll block your ad from most people.
So probably if I signed up for your race with a different email address than Facebook has.
Correct, yeah. Exactly, yeah. It's going off of the data from RunSignUp and trying to match it against that Facebook user.
Your Facebook ad creatives, do you ever put text on them? I know Facebook has that 10%. What do you typically do?
We try not to. We'll do that sometimes for price increases. So we'll create ads that start showing the week of a price increase, and we'll have a little bar at the bottom that says prices increase Sunday night. And we'll keep that very minimal, and we'll have it kind of be on a white background so it stands out, because obviously if you put small text on an image, it kind of blurs. So putting a bar at the bottom or top or wherever you want, you can get away with that 20%. And if you guys aren't familiar with the 20% rule, Facebook doesn't want you to have an ad that has 20% or greater text on it. So what he's saying is, have you had any success with putting large blocks of text? And we've stayed away from that just because Facebook will either sometimes disapprove the ad, or even if they approve it, they're not going to show it as often. So rule of thumb is try and get all your text, on that headline or link description or the text above it. Anybody else?
Yeah, do you spend any time putting your events on other race calendars?
We do.
Do you see any return on that?
We have put them on other race calendars, and I can tell from our Google Analytics how many people are visiting. But we found, while I'm not discounting race calendars, we've found that most of our traffic is coming either from Google searches or from social media platforms.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.